Okay, I want to show you here on this video how to create a full rendered illusion on your Playblast animation. Okay, right now if we go to Window Playblast, right, we create an animation that has, let me stop for a moment, that first of all looks like wireframe mode, so we need to create a full render version illusion. We might need to set it to shaded mode, and also remove the controllers and set remove the grid, remove the name of the viewport and the axis, as well as adding a floor plane. So let me show you how to do all that, and that way, instead of a preview test, you have something that you can use on week 5. And the purpose of this is that to save you time, so that you don't have to rework any previous projects in the class. As you work in each project each week, make it a practice to make it. You can still use the viewport render or the preview, but it will save you time to have to review all your projects for week 5. On week 5, you will put together a portfolio reel showing character animation and all your animation projects from the class. So if they are initially done in a fully rendered mode, giving the illusion of a fully rendered mode with the preview or Playblast, then it will have the effect of looking more finalized, and it will save you time so that you don't have to go back on week 5 and rework all the projects. Okay, so it's better to have them finalized, ready for week 5 as you finish them every week. Okay, that will save you time and frustration on having to go back to review other animations. So how do we do this? How do we make this wireframe test look like a full rendered? So let's start with first of all, I'm going to minimize that, and I am going to start by removing the wireframe. Let's switch wireframe mode for shaded mode. Okay, so let's go to the shading menu there on the I'm on the front viewport camera. You can do this from any view. Just watch that if you do decide to go for the perspective view, which I will be gladly to accept for the assignment. I'm flexible because you don't have to really have it on the side view as the instructions said to make it work. If you want to make it on the perspective viewport, that's even more creative. Just watch out that if you use the perspective viewport, that the floor plane does not look like it's floating in the middle of the air, and the way we do that is we extend the edges, like the sides and the bottom and the side. Okay, so let me show you how to do that. First of all, let's go smooth shade all, so that we can see a little bit, a little bit of like lighting illusion, and so far so good. The next thing I will do is remove the grid so that it doesn't look like a test anymore. So let's go show grid. Okay, and it's right there. The next thing we need to do is deactivate all these controllers that we have here. We have the squash and we have these other circles around it. So the easiest way that I think is go show none, and that way everything on your scene will disappear, and then go back to that show menu and go show polygons. Okay, now you only have your sphere, okay, and it's still doing the animation as you can see, but all the controllers are hidden. If you for some reason want to tweak something before make it final, then you go back and go show all. Okay, for this exercise, let's do show none and polygons. That way we had it. Okay, the next thing is that I don't know if you noticed, the ball seems to be bouncing, but now that the grid is not there, we don't have a reference point on where the floor is. So for that, let's just create a cube, and I say a cube because sideways a plane won't work, but if you're using a perspective view, you could maybe grab a plane and make it really big. And I'm going to make it go beyond the boundaries of the viewport, just to give the illusion of a greater environment. So I'm going to use this scale tool, and probably I might need to move it instead. Okay, why did my... Okay, sorry about that. We had the manipulators turned off, so show manipulators need to be on so that we can see the grid. Okay, I mean that we can see the handles for my tools. So I'm just gonna scale it beyond the boundaries of the screen, and I want to make sure that wherever the sphere touches the ground, that the top of that box is touching, you know, intersecting. So let me, what I'm going to do is find which is the lowest point, which seems to be that one. That's the lowest point on the sphere, you know, bounds. So I'm just going to pretty much put it there so that it intersects. Okay, and let's test the other down positions. That one is the contact position, and there seems to work well. Does good contact. If for some reason when you're doing this you notice, oh wait, the sphere is all the way here, simply just get the manipulators again on and set another key for that position. Okay, that you can just fix it for that one frame. You know, whatever touches the ground there, if it's on frame 50, you turn the controllers on and set another key for that position. But in this case they seem to align well, so except here, did I? Yeah, I think I moved it and probably messed it up, so let me undo that. Yeah, that one goes well. That one touches the ground well. There too. I just, when I moved it, I moved just the sphere. I hope you see what happened there. Just moved just the sphere, and because I didn't move the controller itself, it kind of offset everything. So I just did undo, and it works well now. So now we have the full illusion of, you know, an environment, right? We have the floor plane, and we have the sphere showing in shaded mode so that it looks complete. The final thing that you can do is eliminate, because if you see this, let me show you better. If you see, we still have the front and the axis labels, so that is very easy to change. Just go to show and scroll down to the HUD section and click it off. When you do that, both the axis indicators and the viewport name disappear. And now with nothing selected, you can do your Windows Playblast, and now you have the illusion of a full render without having to have you know, the whole sequence rendered. I think this is a very good way to go ahead on the game, and for week 5, when you have to put all your projects together on a portfolio, you don't have to go back and review them. So even when you are still making an animation test, which is what we need to for each assignment, you're making the effect of a full render by using shaded mode and preparing the environment so that it looks like a completed animation. Okay, so I hope you can keep doing this. I'm gonna post this again in one of the future weeks for the more complex items, but this should work with everything that you work in the class up to week 5 when you're gonna be doing the portfolio. Okay, so have fun, and I hope this helps you out work a little bit faster.